Good morning and welcome back to Choose Your Own Adventure, Mission to Venus by William Emms. Last night when we left off, Peri was in a perilous situation in the galley where they were in danger of being drenched in boiling water. And we had a chance choice to make. So we were picking a number between 0 and 15. So we're going to turn to the dice this morning. And I have rolled an 8. So we are going to go to section 2. Peri stood quite still, her eyes fixed on the vat of boiling water. Clearly, whatever evil influence was at work on the ship now intended to get her. She inched backwards, then turned to see you standing there. "What is it?" you asked, not having seen what was happening, in fact, having only just arrived. "Look," she whispered, indicating the vat. Now you saw what was happening. "Come away quickly," you said. "Come over here." She did so, obviously terrified. Not that you could be said to be filled with joy either. All of this was getting beyond you. There was menace and murder in the air, and no visible explanation for it. What it all meant you had no idea, but it would have pleased you mightily to get out of it. The doctor had the key to escape, of course, but he was not one for walking away from things. More was the pity. Peri stood beside you, still staring at the vat, which had ceased moving the moment she stepped away. "I've had enough of this," she said. "It's just one thing after another." "So have I. I'd mind less if we could see what we're up against, but there's nothing there, is there?" "Only something trying to kill us all." You nodded and looking as though it might succeed. "I'm scared. I don't want to be here anymore." You agreed then, added, "But how do we get out?" "The doctor?" she suggested tentatively. You shook your head, having already pondered that possibility. "He won't do it. His curiosity always gets the better of him, and it's doing so now." "Couldn't we persuade him?" "How? You know what he is. Everything for the sake of scientific investigation. Nothing would tear him away from this. He's fascinated." "I suppose you're right," she said in a small voice. Then a thought struck you. "If we wanted to go from here to the Leechen hold, do you think we'd have to go through the control room?" Peri was puzzled, but answered, "I shouldn't think so. I mean, it wouldn't make sense, would it?" She thought for a moment. "No, because when I came out here, I noticed corridors leading off. They must lead round to the control room." "Right. I'll stay here, and you go back to the others. Have a quiet word with the doctor, and tell him I'm in serious trouble. Get him back here, and I'll persuade him to get us back to the TARDIS and out of all of this." "But what if he won't listen?" she asked. "He will." "Okay." She set off, and long before reappeared with the doctor in tow. "What is it?" he asked. "What is this trouble Peri says you're in?" "It's very simple. We want out." The doctor was baffled. "Out?" "Up, out, and away, doctor. This time we're in too much danger, and Peri and I have had it. We must want to go." "Do you now?" The doctor could be very obstinate. "May I remind you that this is a scientific expedition, and they all carry their own risks? I feel for you both, but I'd like to point out that you're only passengers. My duty to the Time Lords remains the same, to learn to discover, to absorb. There has to be meaning to existence, and I intend to contribute my morsel to discovering what it is, no matter what the danger." He drew himself up to his full height. "We stay." "I thought you'd say that," you said, then produced the wooden stave you'd been holding behind your back and felled him, filling you with regret, though it did. Peri and you lifted his recumbent form and carted him out, no easy task. It had been a sorry thing to do. The doctor had always been your close, though eccentric friend. It gave you no pleasure to see his head lolling and his mouth hanging open. You prayed you hadn't done him a serious injury. Your aim had been good, and you weren't looking forward to his reaction when he finally came round. After carrying him up several blind alleys, you located the TARDIS, took the key from the doctor's pocket, and got him inside. Once there, you both laid him gently down. Peri closed the door, and you hit every button within sight. Finally came the sighing and moaning sound, and you knew you had dematerialized. You didn't know where you were going, but, frankly, you didn't care. Well, that's that. Bergen and his crew have been left behind, and we've ended an adventure. But we could continue and see what happens if we stick around. Do you want to know what's up with the Leechen? Do we make it to Venus? If you want me to continue, send me a message that says yes, and we will see if we come back at 7 o'clock tonight. Have a good rest of your day. Bye now.